Hey all. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make ellipses, which are really just circles. And I'm also going to show you how layering works. Like what the hell is even layering? All right. So to start off, you should already know how to make a rectangle. So let's just make a rectangle somewhere. And just for anyone else who might be watching this, if you type this in, this will not work for you. I do have some special functions that are hidden that you can't see. So if you type this, you will not see those little coordinates here. But remember, you have to think about this canvas as a grid. I just kind of hid the grid away and just left the coordinates there so I can kind of see where my mouse is. So let's just say I want to make a rectangle from, let's just say somewhere here, right? This is about 30, let's see, 30, 45. Let's just do some nicer numbers like 30, 40 instead. And let's make it, let's say 50 pixels wide and 50 pixels in height. This will also be a good time to show you, if you do not put a height, guess what happens? Right? And you should always try things around, see like what happens. It automatically makes the width and the height the same number. So you could have 50-50 or just 50 by itself. Now, this you should know. Let's look at something new. So an ellipse, for the most part, we kind of want to think about it as a circle. However, unlike a rectangle, the first two numbers in a rectangle represent the upper left corner, but in an ellipse, the first two numbers represent the center of the ellipse. So let's just say I did 30, 40, just like the rectangle above. Well, we'll see what will happen. Now, just like a rectangle, you could have two numbers over here. And just like in a rectangle where the third parameter represents the width, well, it's the same thing here. This third parameter, let's exaggerate it a little bit. Let's make the width 100. So you have to think about it being like really wide. And let's make the height 80, right? So just to review that, this is the center. This is the width. And that is the height. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. And you can see like the center of this ellipse is pretty much the upper left corner of this rectangle. And this will be a good point to kind of bring out. This is what layering is. Notice that the ellipse is on top of the rectangle. And that's because when the computer makes the shapes, it's doing it line by line. So it's making the rectangle first, and then it's making the ellipse. So the ellipse ends up on top of the rectangle. If I were to move this ellipse move the rectangle below the ellipse, what do you think would happen? The computer should make the ellipse first and then the rectangle on top of it. And you can see that's what happens here. Right, and you can see the little corner point right here is actually the center of that ellipse. So let's see. If we wanted, I'm just going to comment out that ellipse. By the way, making 2 slashes grays out the line, and basically the computer ignores it. Let's try to make an ellipse that's inside of this rectangle. And just to make it easy, because sometimes the numbers are a little bit off out there. Okay, let's make it 50-50. Okay, this is going to be a little bit, you have to think about it a little bit, right? If you want the center of this rectangle, well, you know what? Because I have the coordinates here, let's just kind of go with the coordinates. I'm trying my best here, and that looks like it. It's 75-75, right? It's literally, this is the upper corner 50-50. The width is 50, so I have to like add half of that 50, which is 25, which gives me the 75. All right, so I'll leave this right here, and let's just kind of play. Let's not do the math. Let's just look at this and kind of go with that. You'll see that this says 73-75, but we kind of know it has to be 75-75. And then we could play around with it a little bit. And, well, what's the width that the ellipse has to be? Well, it has to be the same width as this square or the rectangle, which is 50. And what should the height be? Well, the same thing, because the square is also 50 in height. You'll see they get a nice little ellipse directly inside of the square. All right, and just like the rectangle, guess what happens if we only put one number for the width and nothing for the height? Well, it will make the width and the height the same, making it a nice perfect circle. All right, I hope you learned something in this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.